always there. And God bless everyone.
The Four-Leaf Clover podcast is sponsored by Planet Celtic.
Evening, everybody. How are we doing?
How are you doing, Paddy?
Evening, lads.
Everybody, you're very welcome to the Four-Leaf Clover podcast with myself, Jerry and Andy. What we're going to do is we're going to go back over the game against Bayern Munich last night. For maybe those who didn't see the show last night, or maybe just couldn't face tuning in last night or whatever after the result. So thank you, Andy, for joining me, Jerry, for joining me. How's your day been so far, Andy?
Busy, mate. Non-stop. Shattered. Can't wait to get the weekend done, mate. Got up the road. So, but other than that, it's been all right.
Good. Yourself, Jerry, how's your day been?
Same as a bit like Andy, mate, working away. Watched the game last night, working away, mate, getting my boy to swimming and stuff like that. It's the usual. Yeah. Listen, see, soon as it's Monday, it's Friday again, then when it's Friday, it's Monday again, Paddy. And
that's it.
Just flies in. I was thinking, I've seen that song comes on, Andy. Ever do that one with Sky? I've been caught a few times with Sky, maybe phone and Sky, not for the channels or whatever. There's a good song comes on, you're singing away, and then the woman comes on the phone or something, they're still singing the song, you know what I mean? That's what that reminds me. Sitting getting caught singing away, you know what I mean?
Well,
I just want the music.
The fact that we're all still smiling after last night, it shows you. I think that shows you the depth of performance that we put on last night. So we will get into it. So 24 hours after the big game in Munich, how's everybody feeling? We really want the viewers to get involved and tell us in the comments how they're feeling 24 hours after the game. How are you feeling? Is it pride? Is it frustration? Is it the sense of an opportunity maybe missed? Or is it something else? So please, folks, get involved. Let us know in the comments how you're feeling about the result last night. So I suppose we'll start again. Jerry wasn't on the post match last night, so we'll maybe start with you, Jerry, because Andy and me did the post match last night. So the first thing, Jerry, I suppose was the initial lineup in Munich. So we made a couple of changes after the weekend against Dundee United. So we had Alistair Johnson coming in at right back for Anthony Rolson. We had Kuhn in for Yang. We had Engels in for Luke McCown. And I suppose the change that we all wanted was Big Adam to drop to the bench and allowed Maida to go through the middle. So what was your thoughts on the team use, Jerry, when you saw the lineup last night?
Aye, Brendan, Paddy, Brendan's spot on again, mate. He's spot on at Celtic Park because I thought Jota's just back and I thought Aida getting on with it, as I say, with the 2 goals against Villa. But once again last night, Brendan get the team spot on, mate, so he did. Team was spot on, so he was.
Yeah. No surprises for you, Jerry, at all there? You weren't surprised that, for instance, say Schlupp maybe starting to lay it back. You weren't surprised by that?
No, I thought he was going to go for a bit more strength, Paddy. Listen, Taylor gives his all. We know that when it comes to the physicality side there. Yeah. There's not much you can do when you're up against. You can try your best, but I thought the big man came in and done well last night, Paddy. I thought he had a great game at left back. Looked a bit tired at the end, but just a lot of the players. But I'll tell you, I like the way the big man's putting himself out there. He's solid. The good game, so he did.
Yeah. And Andy, for me and you, we were very much in agreement last night that it was kind of more or less what we thought what they thought he would go with. I suppose what we wanted him to go with, we desperately wanted to see, Dyson Maida through the middle just to see if it would make a difference. So you and I were pretty happy with the team at that stage, before kickoff as well, Andy, weren't we?
Aye, because really that was the team that finished the game in the first tie, and it looked very impressive. It just showed you what we could do when we had that formation and that particular kind of lineup on the park at one time. Our front line, especially the A3, is absolutely rapid and would cause any defence trouble. So I think we were all hoping, or the majority of people were hoping that was going to be the lineup. I didn't think Brendan was going to do it. I've got to be honest with you. I think he was going to start with Ida, But I was very pleasantly surprised when it turned out that was the lineup, because his intentions were quite clear then, that we were going to try and attack when we got the opportunity. But I think we've seen that Celtic's been very mature this season. All you need to do is look at the Atalanta performance, that he certainly got a tune out of the players when it comes to being mature in their performance and sticking to their game plan, which is defend when you need to defend. But if you get an opportunity to attack, then take it. I think we've seen that last night. What we didn't see last night was a clinical finishing, but the fact that we are creating chances and could have had 4 goals in the first half in that game last night against the team at the top of the Bundesliga by 8 points. They've not been beaten at home in the Champions League in 20 games.
29,
Is it 29? 29 games? Well, that's even better. And the fact that Celtic went there and really didn't look out of place, and amongst the other absolute superstars at Munich, you know, that they really didn't. I thought I can't praise them enough, and that's all they're getting is praise, and quite rightly so. But I don't think we can really appreciate what this one result could do for Celtic when it comes to. We'll get into it as the game goes on. I don't want to give my whole kind of piece anyway, mate. I'm sorry, I'd end up just getting carried away.
The other thing for me, I mean, there's been some rubbish spouted this afternoon, mainly from the usual suspects across the city, but and it's kind of in a way trying to discredit Bayern Munich, for want of a better word. They're not the team they were. They're not this. They're not that. But listen, you saw the team last night. You saw the stadium. Everything about that club. They're one of the biggest clubs in the world. There's no question of that, and have been for a number of years. They're a perennial in the Champions League every single year, getting to the last stages of it every single year. They're thereabouts when it comes around. The same as the German national team. Bayern Munich are the equivalent of the German national team in the club game. So don't let anybody talk nonsense about Bayern doing this or Bayern doing that. They're an absolutely massive club, and for us to go there and perform the way they did, and if we had pulled it off, would have been on a par with any result we ever got in Europe at all. The one thing for me, Jerry, at the start there was talk about Harry Kane possibly missing the game after getting I think he got a bang in the face at the weekend. Were you ever in any doubt that Kane would start the game?
He's always going to start, Paddy. You know, to me, if an injured man or even somebody at 70%, I prefer to see them come on, Paddy, don't you? Then if something happens to him, I don't like him sitting on the bench, me personally, because nothing worse if he comes on, he's injured or whatever. Yeah. So, for me, he was always going to start the game anyway. So he was. You take a sniff out goal there, you can see how dangerous he is. But you say, quite impressed with his, how he actually drops quite deep, as we talked about, and actually does play well that way. You always have him just as a goal scorer. And after the 2 games, you can see. But you know what? As Andy says, and I'll get into it later, man, the performance was fucking tremendous, Paddy.
Yeah.
But it was tremendous, mate. But Kane was always going to start.
You and me have a different view of Harry Kane now, Jerry, than we had before the first game, don't we? You and me have a different view. When you see him up live, close and personal in the game, you know, you have a sort of an understanding of just how good he is. The guy's quality, there's no question about that. His movement, his touch. Yourself, Andy, did you think when you heard the rumours, did you think that Kane may miss the game, or were you just certain he would start?
I wasn't really bothered either way, because I think they'll get a threat whether he's playing or no. But obviously it would have been a bonus if it was out, because he gets such a good goal scoring record. Yeah. You could possibly say he was obviously a wee bit quieter in this game than they get, certainly obviously the first half. It was taken off in the second half, but in the first half he didn't really have much of a chance. Probably just before half time he scalped the woodwork, but other than that, nothing really. Whereas at Celtic Park he had a few opportunities before he actually got one in the second half at Celtic Park. But he's got such a good goal scoring record that you're hoping that he wasn't going to be playing. But as it turned out, ended up coming off anyway. So obviously, maybe they thought they could get maybe 45 minutes out of him and get a goal or two out of him as well, but it didn't quite work out that way. But I think no matter who comes into a team from Munich, that they've got a pick of talent, haven't they? They've got some brilliant players.
Well, you saw that from the list of substitutes they had last night. Those guys would their entire bench would probably grace any team left in the Champions League, every single player. So for me, it wasn't any great shakes. But anyway, the game started. I suppose a typical European fashion. It was very cagey earlier on, but Bayern just sort of seemed to be trying to keep the ball and trying to move us around and frustrate us. But for me, it became very evident in the first 10 minutes that that we were already at that stage showing signs of we certainly weren't overawed by the occasion, or we weren't panicking, and we were still very much in the game in the first 10 or 15 minutes. I thought the way we approached the first 10 or 15 minutes, it filled me with positivity anyway. I certainly thought, the way we're playing here, we were knocking the ball about, we were defending well, and when we got the chance, we were trying to get Jota on the ball down one wing and Kuhn down the right. So I thought the first 10 or 15 minutes was very, very even. Obviously, you can see the threat that Bayern have every time they get the ball, and they were trying to get Olise wide on that right hand side, especially up against Jeffrey Schlupp. But as James just says there, Jerry, it didn't quite work out that way with Jeffrey Schlupp, didn't it?
Paddy, the two backs, but listen, everybody was brilliant. Every team man was brilliant, tactically brave, everything. Not one got to that stadium in Swaggering about there. Not one person was hiding. They all wanted the ball. To see if they all wants the ball, that makes your job so much easier. Because if 2 or 3 folk hide, you get caught on the ball. There's nobody hiding last night or nothing. Our two full-backs were different class. They had 2 boys on their tails. I mean, Alistair Johnson's timing tackles in the box were outstanding. Because if you just don't get it right, Paddy, they'll get a penalty. I think it was 2 or 3 times Alistair Johnson was absolutely fucking spot on. So he was. Mm-hmm. But we took the last 20 minutes of Celtic Park right into that game, Paddy. So we did. Right in the game for the start. Callum McGregor, couple of folk hanging in the last few weeks here. Maybe he went through a wee bad spell. We talked about it, we said time. He'll come out it. Listen, outstanding last night and all. What a man. But as I say, the 2 backs, I thought were, same again, brilliant. Great performance. You can argue and all about it. I think it's one of the best performances I've seen in a way tie in Europe. Especially the first half was brilliant. But obviously the boys tired a wee bit. But the backs are brilliant, Paddy.
And listen, you're in an intimidating arena there. The noise that the Bayern Munich fans generate. They're one of those European teams that their fans they never stop. They just keep going the whole time. They just keep singing and making noise the entire time. It's a different atmosphere that Celtic Park provides. But I just felt that, especially as you say, that the back four, from Johnson at right back, Schlupp at left back, and the 2 centre halves, Andy, I just thought, especially in that key opening first 20 minutes where we were sort of saying, this is what we need to do here. We need to give ourselves a foothold here. We cannot afford to go chasing the game and be a goal down or be 2-0 down like we were at Villa Park. And I just thought, like, from the back four, along with Kasper Schmeichel, and particularly Callum in that opening 10 or 15 minutes, I thought the performance of the back four and Callum there, I think that spread to the rest of the team and gave everybody a bit of confidence.
I think what was impressive with Celtic was when they did press, that they all done it collectively, and I think you need to do that, if you're going to be successful in your press. But also the absolute commitment for them to, as you said, that nobody was hiding for the ball. They all wanted a part of it, and I honestly thought Celtic looked very, very comfortable on the ball. They didn't look panicked. I thought even winning the second ball is not that we were getting in there. A lot of the times in the first game at Celtic Park, we were losing out in the second balls. I think we were falling back a wee bit too much, a wee bit too defensive. And I think obviously that mindset at the end of the first game at Celtic Park gave us a wee bit encouragement to say that we could actually hurt Bayern here because they were flustered, definitely kind of just trying to get the game undone, mate. I'm talking about the first tie here at the end of the game. So we knew we could hurt them there.
Yeah.
And collectively, I think as a group, I thought they were all fantastic. Sloop, again, he's a big physical guy, isn't he?
Yep.
He's up against real quality wingers there, and I thought he done absolutely fantastic. Brilliant Engels again. A fantastic performance in Calmac. I thought the two of them were just magical. I can't. You could go through the whole team and you could take a pick for man of the match. AJ just. In fact, I seen a picture of him in Asda a day or something like that. Somebody got a picture where he was in getting his shopping in Asda. It's like this guy's scooting about in Germany last night. Like gave the performance of his life. I think probably his best performance since he's been at Celtic. And the question I want to ask is, should the Celtic board now be looking to get Brendan tied down on a long-term deal? And is this the time to do it? That the guy's obviously proved that he is a top-class coach. We knew he could do it domestically. Yeah. But it seems to have something's just clicked when it comes to Europe, doesn't it? Because he's not got the best record in Europe, but something, especially this season, something has definitely clicked. And you can, let's not forget, we've got a pumper in here as well. You know, after Dortmund, we're still coming away for this campaign in a very positive mood. So that says it all, the way they've actually took what the lessons they've took away for that defeat against Dortmund. Yeah. And you can see the improvements they've made. That they've definitely become a more solid unit and definitely get belief in each other.
Definitely. And we'll talk about Brendan as we go along, because obviously we want to see then where we go from here as we finish. But for me, as Jerry said, there's nothing more for a winger that breeds confidence in a winger, knowing that you trust the guy behind you. So you had Jota on the left wing. He obviously trusted Jeffrey Sloop, and you had Nicholas Kuhn on the right hand side, and he's able to go forward because he trusts Alistair Johnson coming behind him. And that's really, for me, when I look back on it, it maybe wasn't just as fresh last night at the time, but it definitely was. The game for us turned in a wee sort of 20-minute spell in the middle of that first half, where ideally we actually could have scored 4 goals in a 20-minute spell very, very easily if we had had our shooting boots on. The first one being brilliant football in the middle of the field, release Callum for a long burst and run through the middle, and he takes the ball right into the penalty area and unfortunately just skies his shot. But that was a great opportunity, Jerry. I thought he should have came across the goalkeeper with that one.
I think that was maybe the hardest one at the 4, Paddy, to be fair. I think that one was maybe the hardest one. The up leading up to that was outstanding. As you say, maybe, listen, by the way, the big Bayern goalie's a cracking goalie. It takes a lot to beat that big man, to be fair or not. I mean, he's a cracking big goalie. His presence as well. He's got everything that big, isn't he? So what's a fair age? I know him, because he's been about for years. The big goalie.
37, 38, something like that.
Listen, that's what we talked about before the pause with the goalies. I mean, there's Schmeichel, but Schmeichel, fucks. He had 2 outstanding saves with deflections. They're even harder. Coming off somebody, and he still saved them. I mean, Schmeichel last night was fucking outstanding as well. I mean, to me, keep saying everybody's outstanding because they were. I mean, aye, Paddy, I just think maybe McGregor's maybe just a wee bit the hardest one at them, to be fair, mate. The hardest one, but as you say, at least made the keeper make a save. Skied that a wee bit too much, mate.
He'd run a long way for me. He'd run a long way, and he took 2 defenders with him, and there wasn't really a lot of support there. So he probably knew he had to have a go there, and he'd probably taken out of the legs there, so he hadn't a lot left in the tank at that stage. But I think, as Jerry says, Andy, I think that's what we saw. We saw 2 world-class goalkeepers at play last night, without a shadow of a doubt.
Aye, well, Kasper Witt made 9 top-class saves last night. And that's in a game where we played very well and were an attacking threat, that he's having to make 9 top-class saves. I think it's been a fabulous signing for Celtic, and you can tell that the same way kind of Joe Hart got it as well. He ended up with a real affection for the club. I think Kasper's already got that halfway through his first season. That he's he definitely gets it. But and a lot of people see him as an upgrade for Joe Hart as well. Personally, I do as well. Absolutely an upgrade for Joe Hart. Wonder how many more years we could get out of him. An interesting one, wasn't it?
He's big Craig Gordon. See, 41, 42. Let's look at Casper. Look at Casper last night with 37, 38.
Yeah.
He's easy 2 seasons, 3 seasons. I mean,
there's no reason why we couldn't keep him till he's at least 40. You know, he's no ball at all. I mean, Joe Hart, we said that at the time. I mean, Joe Hart could have played on. Joe Hart could have played on it, but he just felt himself, his body, you know, maybe wasn't reacting the way it should do, you know. But there's no reason why, if Schmeichel keeps up that level of performance, there's no reason why we can't get another couple of years out of him. So the next two were sort of two very shortly, one after each other. And again, you know, if somebody had told me the night before that we would have created those kinds of opportunities against Bayern Munich, I would have bet money on us scoring at least once. The two chances that came within a short space of time. The first one was brilliant work from Jota. He managed to sort of suck the defender in. He spotted Nicholas Kuhn wide on the right hand side of the penalty area, lofted a great ball in, but unfortunately it just wouldn't come down for him, Jerry, to hit it a proper rattle. And he didn't really get much purchase on it. But really and truly, you know, if he had walked onto that and hit it on the volley, we would surely have been looking at 1-0 there.
Aye, see, he's just spot on, Paddy. See, we just scalped that. That was out to go as a lead there. I know he tried to just kind of side time, but he does that a lot, but he cuts in and he doesn't really strike the ball. It's very he hits it well, to be fair, but
strokes it, didn't he?
You see, I thought he could just struck that hard as he could, and that kind of we can seem to do that, floats inside all the time, and he does that. James Forrest does the same, by the way, if you noticed, didn't you? James Forrest kind of comes inside and he just kind of hit it, just place it at the same time. Yeah. Where sometimes just he do the ball and just strike it hard, you know.
Yeah.
But that was a golden opportunity, Paddy, to put his one on Mel and the McGregor one, to be fair. Yeah. So it does.
What was your thoughts on that one yourself, Andy? The Kuhn chance, you think we could have done better there?
Aye, it could have, mate. Aye. As you said, it was very, very kind of strange to have so many kind of chances so close together against such a good opposition. We're not used to seeing that, especially away from home.
Yeah.
Maybe the players were shocked with that as well. As much effort as they put in to try to create the chances, maybe it's like, what's going on here? Do you know what I mean? But I think he could have done better with that particular chance. Aye.
And then again, we had another very, very shortly after that. Again, this was a stage where I think that we were actually dominating in the middle of the field. We were starting to get the ball down. We were starting to make a few passes. You know, the fullbacks were starting to get themselves up the field a wee bit, and we were really starting to impose ourselves in the Bayern half. Obviously, we're having to keep one eye on the back door at the other end, but I think any long balls that were knocked forward, I think Cameron Carter-Vickers and Austin Trusty were marshalling that really well there. And the next one was probably the best of the whole lot. Brilliant football outside the box involving Hatate. Engels made a decoy run. He was found perfectly. He slid it across, and Dyson Maida was literally, you know, if he had had another longer stud on his boot, he could probably have scored there. But you know, you're just thinking at that stage, this is the goal now. Just as Engels was driving it low and hard across, but Dyson does everything there. And to be fair, the big defender Upamecano, he held him off well, Jerry, didn't he?
Aye, he done his job there, Paddy. So he did. He was unlucky again, man. As you say, at that point, it was a matter of when we were going to score a foot at that point. I mean, it was just unbelievable football we're playing. And it's how we're doing it as well. Well, we've all seen Celtic, the Barcelona games. We beat Barcelona at Celtic Park and that. To be fair, we hardly had the ball. You know that way, and we obviously won the game. We snatched the game with Tony Watt and stuff like that. But last night was a different ball game. That was like we matched Bayern Munich in every position. So it wasn't just luck or nothing like that. It was just last night was just so different. The chances and it wasn't just lucky chances. We worked hard for our chances. We played great football last night. That was another great chance, Paddy. So it was.
Yeah.
Just unlucky again. So it was.
Some of the movement at that stage of the game, Andy, from the front five, and you know, I've said it before about Engels. You know yourself. I'm a fan of Engels. I think this guy will will go straight to the very, very top. And you seen it last night, and his movement, first of all, to free himself up into the space to take the pass, and then that ball across right into the area where it hurts there. Dyson will wonder how he didn't score there, Andy.
I know, as you said, he couldn't quite reach it. It was a bit of a stretch for him, but what a move! Just a perfect move for the type of football that we play. Engels is a young player. He's come in for a foreign country, kind of new environment, and he's had his stick. He has, but maybe unfairly, I don't know. I think everybody's entitled to their opinion. We've said it in this pod that we thought he'd maybe been a bit below par considering the start he had. But it just shows you the quality that he's got, and he definitely showed that last night, for sure. He's showed it many times, but last night was, maybe he had a point to prove. Going back to play in Germany.
Yeah.
Where we got for when he was playing in the Bundesliga with Augsburg, but maybe he had it in the back of his mind that he really wanted to put on a performance, and it just so happened that the whole team performed as one fantastic unit. I would put that performance last night up there, probably better than the one against Ajax. We beat them 3-1 in Amsterdam. We absolutely tore them to shreds. Slightly different performance, certainly better quality we were playing last night with Munich, but you can't give them enough credit for the performance that they put in. And we are fans. We put in our money, we put in our emotions, but I really felt sorry for the management team and the players last night, more than anybody, because they're the ones that were out in the pitch putting the effort in. They were the guys that were set the tactics up for the game and stuff like that, and it didn't just didn't quite work out in the end. And it was that's who I really felt sorry for last night. Was certainly the players more than anybody.
Paddy, see the difference last night? I think the difference in other games and stuff is more a hope. Last night, it was a belief last night the players had walking out there. Ken, it was just so different for them last night. They were fucking outstanding man to man, and everything just went right for them. Just right down to the instructions for the manager to everything. Everybody sticking to the game plan. It was just a different belief last night. We've seen. And we've got to take that now. We've got to take that on now. We can't go back the way. We've got to keep going now in the next campaign. So with our performances like that, that's what it's got to be all the time. Commitment like that. It was brilliant.
So those chances have been and gone, and then just when you think, you're starting to sort of think this might not be our night, we create another one, and it comes from a mistake from the Bayern defender. He swings a boot to try and clear the ball, and it just spirals up into the air, and it just drops to Dyson Maeda like 25 yards out, and I don't think he realises he has the time that he has. He's actually timed to take the ball down and run in. He tries to lob the goalkeeper from sort of 20 odd yards out, but you're actually screaming at the TV. Like he had time to actually take a touch, take it down, and go in on the goalkeeper. And I know how I looked at that stage. I'm looking at that stage thinking, are we going to live to regret these chances? Are we going to let you're not even just missing ordinary chances, you're missing really good quality chances. When you think of the chances in the first half, Bayern had plenty of the ball round the edge of our box, but it was us who were creating the really clear-cut chances at that stage, Jerry.
Yep. That's it, Paddy. The first half was outstanding that way, but the chance after chance, we know, we've said it before, everybody knows in the pod, everybody, we don't take your chances in they kind of games. It could change in a matter of seconds. We know when we play against Aberdeen and other teams and stuff, they need 2 or 3, 5 chances to get a goal. These teams are just one chance. And obviously last night was fucking sheer luck. Obviously last night, but we could have been in at least 2 anyway, 3 at half time. A bit of luck. I know folk will say if the natural goal scorer signed in January, it's all hindsight, innit?
Yeah.
If the natural goal scorer would have won the game. For me, I'm not really too much into that. I know we could have brought somebody in and kept Kyogo, but I think it was maybe our bench wasn't strong enough to come on. Better players coming off the bench last night and helping the boys that are shattered out. Maybe that would have helped last night more than anything. A few more signings, stronger guys coming off the bench for us.
Yeah.
I know Big obviously he does come off there, but I know it's based me in the two games and all, by the way I'm talking, sorry. Not one booking. The two games.
Yeah.
I was wondering that, especially last night. I don't know first game, but I actually meant to mention it in the pod last night, and I totally forgot in the day. And I'm thinking back and going, I think there was any bookings. And let's be honest, really, that it wasn't exactly a tame game. There was some kind of meaty challenges. So, as much as you want to criticise the ref, I thought certainly last night he did let it flow, you know, and you can look back and the instinct that maybe should have been pulled back, that wasn't he?
Yeah.
Aye, but then that was as we talked about cheating or being cute. I know I'm not about to cheat. I'm not saying that, but if Meader just rolls about, he's got to stop the game.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? We kind of seem to fucking. I wouldn't expect Celtic to do that against Scottish teams, Aberdeen, Celtic, Rangers. I wouldn't cheat. I wouldn't fucking be cute. But we've got to play these European teams at their own game, Andy, Paddy, haven't we?
Yeah.
We've got to a bit more streetwise.
That's it. That's where I sometimes feel that we fall down. We're not as streetwise as some of these guys. These guys have been over the course many times. But Dyson might have that one, Andy. For me, you know, I think, you know, whether he panicked or what, I don't know. You know, he didn't get a shout from anybody. He was just waiting on a shout there to say that you have time on the ball there. But you know, it was just the one when it happened. You're just thinking, like, how many more of these are we going to pass up? And you're just thinking that Bayern are going to go straight down the field and create one chance and score a goal. And we've had 3 or 4 there. And to think that at one stage, you know, that we could even have been talking about going into Bayern Munich and being 2-0 or maybe 3-0 up at half time would just been beyond your wildest dreams.
It would be, aye. And I think, you know, if you were even before the game, if you were saying that Celtic would even have 4 or 5 chances throughout the whole game, you'd be saying, I'd be happy with that. You know, the fact that we got them within about 10-15 minutes of each other is quite unbelievable. Maida is the type of player that could probably slot a chance like that away, even in the manner that he tried to take it. I think he did have time to take it down, but it was just a kind of split-second decision, maybe decision making. But again, another fantastic chance. But Maida's been fantastic for us this season.
I know we can't be too critical of the wee man, especially the way he's played recently. We can't be
certainly no. I would love to know his data now. They all wear the bra things on. I wonder how many clicks that he runs up in a game. It'd be amazing to find that out. I don't think they've ever released any stats on runnings or area covered or anything like that. But that man never stops. I think he's always there to back his team up. He's always there to put pressure on the opposition defenders and try and steal any kind of chance of him making a mistake. But also, I think what is really important is his defensive work as well. He chases back and he puts in effort to try and get the ball back. And all he's an absolutely fantastic and perfect teammate for any team. Just one wee thing is, the only problem with playing in big games like this against top class opposition is a lot of people and a lot of clubs watch these games. And if your players are there putting in good performances, well, they look at it when they go, he could fit into my team or whatever. So, you know, as much as you don't want to see players going, that's the kind of system that we work in now. It's why we've been so successful financial-wise as well in the transfer market. We maybe keep them 2-3 years and then they go elsewhere. And by the way, I'm not trying to get rid of MD. That's the last thing about it. And the last person I want to get rid of is Maida, that's for sure. But you've got to look at reality and say that there will be people watching and taking.
That's it's the biggest shop window in the world at that stage when you're in the playoffs or the knockout stages of the Champions League. That's where the big clubs switch on and take note of what's going on. So at this stage, then we're moving towards the last sort of 5 or 10 minutes of the first half, and obviously Bayern have come back again. They've regained a bit of composure, and they had first of all there was a chance for Michael Olise, the goal scorer from the first leg, and then Leon Goretzka and Schmeichel denied both with brilliant saves from the both of them. And then almost just before half time, for me, the one and only time in the first half that we sort of got completely opened up. They got down the right hand side. The guy played a lovely ball back, and Harry Kane just rattled the ball off the bar. And again, you're just sort of thinking, we could have conceded there almost right on the half-time whistle again there, but it was a great chance for Kane, Jerry, wasn't it?
Aye. Expect him to put that away, Paddy, you know what I mean? So I'm still laughing there. James Higby said Mida would win the Grand National jogging.
Very good, James, very good.
So he says. But I thought Kane, I would have just not. That has been the same again, and just the Celtic part, the goals just before half time, and again has been a sucker blow again, Paddy. But I'm surprised they missed it, to be fair. So I did.
When you saw that ball coming to Kane, Andy, did you fear the worst at that stage?
Especially at that point in the game, because it was nearly half time, and I thought, this is, don't lose a goal there. We've been absolutely superb. It was close. It was close, and I was glad that he didn't come back out for the second half. I thought, you've just shot it. That's what it is. You've just shot it. He's not injured. Was it a jaw injury or something? I don't even know what was it, a jaw injury in the game before?
I got a bang in the face. I got a bang in the face at the weekend. So the halftime whistle. So say again, Andy.
He talks normal now.
Well, listen, do you know what? He maybe have been feeling it because the halftime whistle came, and then before we went out, we learned that he wasn't coming out for the second half. So, at halftime, Jerry, with the score 0-0, who's the happier manager at halftime last night? Do you think?
Oh, it's got to be Company, definite, Paddy. I mean, you seen him. He didn't know what to do. He looked very shocked, Paddy.
Yeah.
He looked very shocked to that sideline. Even when doing his arms trying to hang with the ball, you see him falling as well.
Yeah.
he didn't know what to do. There's nothing worse when that happens, to be fair, but his brand new white trainers all bogging. So they were. There's nothing worse, is it? Your high heels so dirty, you're stuck in the dirt, know what I mean? But listen, Company was definitely happy to get in there enough in each half time, so he was, Paddy. Definitely.
And how do you think Brendan felt at half time, Andy? What do you think Brendan was saying to the team at half time?
I think he'd be pleased with the team because they've carried out his instructions, obviously, but frustrated at the fact that they could have put away any chances they created. Because let's be honest, you're going into that second half and thinking, are we going to get another chance? Are Bayern going to turn it up and turn the screw up a wee bit? And I think obviously people are saying that Bayern, they never played a great game, and I think a lot of that's down to Celtic the way they played as well. So I think you need to give Celtic the credit for that. It's not just the fact that Bayern were shite and Celtic played really well. I think the reasons why they weren't great is because of the way Celtic were playing. I think definitely Company looked a very nervous character, and to be honest with you, I'm absolutely baffled that he got that job in the first place. He took Burnley. He relegated with Burnley and then get a Bayern Munich job. And not only that, but Bayern paid Burnley €10 million or whatever it was, £10 million to take him. And it's, I just don't see it. I just don't know. Bayern's usually a club you've got a bit of experience in there, when it comes to management and stuff like that. They've done something somewhere else. They've got success somewhere else to come in. So the fact he's there is very strange for me. He looked very nervous, very, very nervous, and a bit out his depth, to be honest with you.
For me, I think Brendan will be telling. I think Brendan will be telling the guys, listen, guys, more of the same. I think Brendan will be saying to the guys, listen, guys, more of the same. We should be in front here, but just let's keep going. Let's keep our shape. Let's keep our discipline. Just keep doing what we're doing. We're doing all the things that we're doing are all good things. And as you said, Andy, it's not that Bayern weren't playing well. Bayern were having plenty of the ball and knocking it around, but our shape and the way we defend it and the way we pressed as a team, they were trying to move the ball from one side to the other, but they just weren't getting through. They were getting the odd wee break here and there on the edge of the box, which you're going to get. And then anytime they did get through, I think they sort of started shooting from ridiculous angles. You saw Kingsley Coman coming on for Harry Kane, and he was cutting inside, and he was just going to try and have a shot as soon as he came inside. And I think that showed how desperate that Bayern were becoming at that stage, because they knew that they were in a game, and they knew that the game was on a knife edge. And then 8 minutes into the second half, unbelievable. not necessarily surprised, but certainly just jubilant when we see the fact that Celtic actually take the lead. And I've just watched today, I watched the actual rerun of Chris Sutton being in the Sky Studio last night, and you can just see Sutton's face when he's actually trying to describe the goal. But Jerry, brilliant work from Engels, from Dyson Maida to set up the chance for Kuhn and Nicholas Kuhn. We said last night, there's not another player in the squad that you would have wanted that chance to fall to, especially at the minute, and Nicholas Kuhn. And how well did he take that goal?
Paddy, brilliant. We said he hits it, but it's funny, he just places it and hits it all the time, and he does it well. To beat that, as I said, that guy's a top class goalie. Today, he made it look easy, Kuhn. It was outstanding. We're talking about celebrating his big thank fuck my wife or Wayne they've not got that phone on. Because you would blow that YouTube up, mate. All with me. See if you actually seen yourself the 90 minutes up and down like a yo-yo. I'm blaming one person there, I'm praising them, blaming them, praising them, blaming them. You're so fucking hanging doing the game. There's nothing else matters in this fucking earth. That night, just watching that, jumping about the living room, mate.
Yeah.
And that goal went in, what a buzz, Paddy. And can you say, he just does that, and he just cuts in, you just know it's going to, 9 times out of 10, he's going to put it away.
Yeah.
Brilliant, mate. What a feeling. What a feeling it was, man. Still buzzing about it to the pair.
Andy, what about the contribution of Maida there to get the ball to Nicholas Kuhn in the first place?
Even before it, mate, where the move kind of started, that kind of halfway line there, fighting for it in the byline, get it, and Maida, and 2 moves in the one kind of action, still fighting for the ball, gets it through, and the defender tries to get something on it, and it kind of flows through to Kuhn, cuts inside. He does that so often, and could you do anything about it to stop him when he does that? Because you can almost see it happening, before he does it, because he does it that often. It's a trait he has, just the way he does that, but just slots it away very nicely and calmly, and delighted for him, because it was a club he was at one point, and it was deemed no good enough, and that's how we've got him. He's went elsewhere, been to a couple of places, and now he's with us. I think he's had a fantastic season. He's a very good goal scorer. He's fast. He's lightning quick. That's what I love about Celtic in the front line, is how quick they are. By the way, big. He does no slow either. I mean, he's a big lumpy boy, but he's got a fair bit of pace on him as well. He done well there as well. With that, so the big man's put his effort into this Champions League campaign as well. So he has, and I think a few people are saying that if Kyogo was playing, if he was still here, we have maybe slotted some of them away. Maybe. We're never going to find out, because he's not here and he's decided to go elsewhere. He's decided to go to friends, not even middle of the table there, relegation fodder, by the looks of it.
Yeah.
And look at the games they could be playing in, Paddy. Mary, just look at the teams they could be playing, the ties they could be involved in. Madness for me, but we've got players there that want to be there. You could see that last night. There's a perfect example of the performance just put in, when you've got players that actually want to be there and play for the club and fans in the jersey and for themselves and as a team.
What I like about Nicholas Kuhn is as Jerry will tell you, is we've seen some great goal scorers, but when you get into that position, Nicholas Kuhn, he's just got ice in his veins. The guy never panics. You never see him blazing the ball over the bar. He just, as Gary said, he just passed the ball into the net. Past Manuel Neuer, a world-class goalkeeper. He just made it. He made it look as though it was a game up the park on a Saturday morning. You know what I mean? He just made it look so easy. And for me, that was the stage of the game. That was, I think that was the time. If we had, I think if we had maybe just pressed on a wee bit at that stage, I think Bayern were completely and utterly rattled at that stage. You could see a couple of shots as the camera panned around the stadium. You could see the looks on some of the Bayern supporters' faces. They knew that they were in trouble there. They were saying to themselves, "Listen, these guys, we're in bother here. These guys have played well, and there's no way that we can possibly say that we're unlucky to be a goal down. These guys deserve to be a goal in front. When you think of the chances that were created in the first half."
Paddy, see before you move on, sorry to interrupt. see, this is a kind of perfect thing that we get in Europe now and again with teams that we're expected to go and run out of the tappy, and all of a sudden they play good football and all that. Like, I'm not comparing this to Bodo Glimt, but that kind of, that's the kind of performance they put in that we were expected to go and beat Bodo Glimt, and they absolutely tore us to shreds. And it's kind of overlooking teams without actually putting the work into watching how they play. Fans don't do that. Let's be honest, we don't go.
We don't do that, right, Andy.
No.
We just look at league tables, see how they played the following Saturday. Right, sometimes you can just jump in and just go up. They're middle of that league. They get beaten Saturday. They're easy. It's just easy to do that without actually knowing. The good thing about Celtic scouts and Bayern, they'll know everything about every player. Their management and everything. As you say,
fans, Jerry, when you're looking at the fans, obviously the fans don't know everything. You're going to have scouts at the club, but as a fan, if you go to the stadium, you don't know everything about the club you're playing, especially a European club. They'll know Celtic and Celtic as a club, but they're going to know how they played in the last 6 weeks. The fans I'm talking about, they don't. So they just expect Munich to turn up and beat this team for Scotland. And maybe it's woke them up to go, let's maybe start gain teams a wee bit of respect now, because don't just be ignorant expecting to win, because teams they turn up and play well.
Well, you look on the first game. You look at our first game on against Slovan Bratislava. Not one single player did I know. Didn't know one single player, and it's very unusual that you don't know a striker or a goalkeeper or a centre half or whatever, even if you don't know the rest of the team. But I honestly, genuinely didn't know a single player from that Slovan Bratislava. And even though we eventually ran out comfortable winners in that game, the first 10 or 15 minutes, I actually said to one of the guys beside me that night, it just shows you these teams that you don't know anything about. They can sometimes give you trouble. That Slovan Bratislava actually had a decent opening 10 minutes at Celtic Park, and I thought we were going to have more trouble with them than we did. But we got goals at good times and stuff. But that's exactly your point there. You're thinking that we're looking at this thing and we're just going to roll over these guys here, just because you don't know them. Exactly. And that's the other thing too about the Champions League. I find that the Champions League, there's always at least one team comes from nowhere every single year, and you're thinking, where did they come from? I never saw that coming with this team. So there's always a surprise package or two in the Champions League every single year.
Look at Club Brugge. Look at Club Brugge.
Yeah.
They
were a good team at Celtic Park. They knocked the ball about well. They worked in freeze. They worked in kind of twos and threes. After the ball, they're running after the ball. By the way, seen you look after last night, obviously last night we're thinking unlucky with a goal. I actually thought to myself, did we fucking respect them too much at Celtic Park? Bayern, maybe. I think so, aye, possibly. But I can see getting in with that, Jerry, because he's wanting to keep the second leg alive, so I think it's a very hard one to balance out that, especially at home, because you do want to get into the second leg. I think it's a gauge. You're just trying to gauge it's like a boxer just getting his range.
Jabbing, cut a jabs,
the damage is done. So I think it's just gauging him to see how the first kind of tie went, especially first half, and then he's obviously the more the games went on, he's went, let's have a wee charge here, see how they react to getting ruffled up a bit. He's noticed that they flaffed a wee bit, and he's went, well, I'm just going to start the game like that, because they obviously get into a wee bit of panic. So it's like it's just kind of trying out different scenarios in it, to try and find out what's best for us.
Yeah, and then as a game we're on, it's this wee part of the game where looking back on it now, that's what I say. Sometimes when you get 24 hours to sort of think back and look on it, and I think the fact that we lost, Jota and we lost Nicholas Kuhn in the second half, and I think that was that for me now looking back on it, that was a massive blow to us losing those two players, because we definitely lost we lost a lot of the attacking threat on the break, especially without the pace of Kuhn. Whenever Kuhn was on the right hand side there, we were a big threat with him. And Yang coming on, he did well. He did his best. He fought his corner, but Yang's no Nicholas Kuhn by any manner of means. Big Ida coming in as well. He put himself about and he tried his best, but that was at the stage of the game where I thought, really, Are we going to create another chance? Or, will we get another chance similar to one that we got in the first half without the skill of Jota and without the pace of Kuhn? And that's exactly how it turned out. So, but again, as the game ticked down, it was beginning to look like extra time. You're sort of thinking it's extra time, and there was actually a shot of Company standing on the touchline. And I remember thinking, just a penny for his thoughts there. He's thinking, these guys come up the field and get a corner or a free kick or something. If another goal goes in here, we're out of the Champions League. And you could literally see it on his face there. You could see the nearly panic on his face, Jerry.
No, he was a worried man, Paddy. He was a worried man. So he was a defeat like that and taking it into disrespect. Their fans thinking we're shite. He can maybe lost his job because there's a bit extra.
I think they'd have sacked him if we beat them last night.
Yeah. You see, there's extra pressure on them, Paddy, this year because the finals in Munich.
Yeah.
The finals at their stadium. So
Yeah.
I think they've got added extra pressure for everybody, for the fans, to the manager, to the players, to get that final. I seen a comment there, somebody mentioned Park Kid. Did you actually listen? I watched it on Amazon Prime last night, by the way. I thought it was brilliant on Amazon Prime.
Yeah, me too, Jerry.
I really enjoyed it last night, the game on but see the commentator kept saying Park Kid. Kid, when Celtic played him at Park Kid. I don't know, I was going to ask you, I still call it Park Kid. Maybe yourselves, and I seen a comment there, somebody saying Park Kid. To me, it's always Park. I know the young team now are maybe winding the audience up, they're calling it Parkers and stuff like that. But it's always Park Kid. If I say to the missus, she's like, what we doing today? I'm away to Park Kid.
Yeah.
See you after.
Yeah.
But just when the commentator kept saying it last night as well,
Yeah.
But as you say, Paddy, I think there's somebody saying Parkers and all that. But I think he shouldn't have lost his job because of the way Celtics played, because they've underestimated us. But I think he could have lost his job last night, Paddy.
Yeah,
he looked a worried man. So
he definitely did. And Andy, for me, that at that stage of the game, I think Bayern are actually, they look as though they've run out of ideas. To be quite honest, they weren't really threatening us the way they did at wee spells in the first half. They were starting to. They looked as though they were starting to panic. They were starting to fire balls into the box, and they were, you're just trying to, you just think they're just trying everything here, and then literally just when you think, right, we're almost there. Michael Olise, again, somebody asked me about him today. This is a guy that they paid 50 million for from Crystal Palace. Olise floats a brilliant ball into the box, a diagonal ball into the box. The German player Goretzka meets it with a diving header. Once again, Schmeichel makes a brilliant save. He parries the ball into the 6-yard box, and as big Cameron Carter-Vickers tries to make the block, all he succeeds in doing is driving it off Alphonso Davies, and the ball just rolls agonisingly into the net to make it one each. What are you thinking at that stage, Jerry?
Fuck.
Paddy, what did you say, Andy?
Fuck.
I don't think you could really show what really I screamed at. Do you know that way? I was upset and angry, but I expected it as well.
Yeah.
I don't know if just a sheer feeling unlucky all the time, and actually it happens all the time. And see, they just feeling lucky and fucking things happen for you. Feeling that way, so I was kind of just like gutted. I was gutted. I was upset. I was gutted for the fucking commitment of the players, the management.
Yeah.
There's the whole team that, because of the way they played, they didn't deserve it. You know what I mean? Yeah. But I went, it was a bad one, mate. But I just sense that coming, Paddy. Know that thing. And if we'd have just been doing and rolled about and fucking done what they'd done. Yeah. The Italians, the Spanish, and all that, they don't get beat. They don't get beat in the last minute, last 5.
They're masters at it.
See out, didn't they?
They can run the clock down. They can run the clock down better than anybody. But Andy, we touched on it last night. It wasn't that. We've seen this so many times, Andy, but it wasn't a glorious failure that we've experienced before. Not for me, anyway. For me, it was definitely not glorious failure. For me, I thought we were genuinely unlucky there the night.
Aye, you could call it glorious failure. We certainly didn't see it that way. Brendan didn't see it that way, and the players didn't see it that way. I think overall it was a heroic performance. It was a brave performance, very mature, and you could see the steps that Brendan's made, getting it into his players' heads, how to approach these games and get it right mentally. But we were very, very kind of fatigued at that stage. Mentally fatigued and physically fatigued. Are you still picking me up here? I think I froze.
Yeah, no, we can hear you. Yeah,
Have I froze?
no, we can hear you.
And what you've got to remember, Paddy, as well, is that round about the kind of 70, 75 minute mark as well, they did turn the screw a wee bit. We were kind of backs to the wall a wee bit, which I didn't feel comfortable, because the majority of the game we were kind of looking to take the ball and intercept it quite comfortably without being under any kind of major threat. And you're always liable to lose something kind of late on, but just because it's us, the crowd are then pushing him on. But a very unfortunate goal to lose, and I felt sorry for Carter Vickers, especially when he's he's kind of trying to clear the ball.
Yep.
And it was a really scrappy goal to get put out of Europe with. Yep. And I think what you need to remember is, people talk about finances in football and how much effect it has between these kind of. You look at Bayern and they're turning out £1 billion a year, and Celtic are 100 million or something like that. There's a financial gulf, but that then kind of goes against that that money really shouldn't matter in football, because look at the performance we put in last night when there is that gulf.
Yeah.
So as much as we say that money is important, it is. And we've only got a certain budget to go to, that we're only going to scratch the surface when it comes to quality of European players, because we think our money's a shitload, and it's no really compared to big teams like Bayern. They've got to have talent on the bench to come in. And that boy Davis that put the ball in, a very scrappy goal, but he's a very good player, that boy.
Yeah.
I just felt absolutely gutted that, for the players mainly, obviously as fans you're going to be upset, but for the players, for me, I felt really sorry for them, because it was such a majestic effort that they put in, and they deserved to at least go to extra time. Who knows what would happen? Look, Bayern could have went and scored in extra time, but they deserved that opportunity to get there, because I thought they were tremendous. So gut-wrenching at the end. And it's not the first time we've lost late goals in Europe.
Yeah.
But hopefully it's there'll be few and far between now. You'll see a different Celtic, I think, away from home in Europe, especially.
So that was it. The game finished on the night. It finished Bayern Munich 1, Celtic 1. So Celtic were beaten and eliminated from the tournament on aggregate after the 2-1 defeat at Celtic Park. And afterwards, for me, it was just really, it was lovely to see Brendan speaking, and you could just see that he was just glowing with pride in the way that the team had played. And he actually mentioned having a conversation with both Martin O'Neill and Neil Lennon off air, and he said himself that both of those former Celtic players and former Celtic managers had both basically waxed lyrical about the performance and about how well the team had played. So I'm sure Brendan will take comfort from that, Jerry.
Oh, that's the way. Listen, this is Brendan now starting to get his signal. The team's now Paddy every Monday. See if we can add one or two quality.
Yep.
We want to be regulars in that Champions League. Listen, I've really enjoyed. We asked for an improvement, and we've done that. So we can't say we've not done that.
Yeah.
Everybody knows we've done that brilliantly. I think it's been a brilliant season, Europe this year for us, and I've really loved the new format. We're Paddy. The format's been brilliant.
Yeah.
But we know that that's us out now. So we go back to the bread and butter of the SPL. We get this treble, hopefully.
Yeah.
I'll tell you what. You know yourself, Paddy, these European nights, they're fucking special, aren't they? They're brilliant.
Yeah.
They're great to be party. And I just hope now the board back Brendan up, and we get that one or two quality players in every time. As I said last night, I just felt the bench was maybe the difference. We never had that. No, if the same kind of players on the park that were on the bench.
Yeah.
we would have made a massive difference last night. But it's back to the bread and butter, SPL. But I'll tell you, I've really enjoyed the European run this year. So Paddy, it's been good. So has.
And you and me have been fortunate, Jerry, to be at all the home games. You know, and the atmosphere, the goals, the memories. You know, the games, the game against Leipzig. You know, just the entire run, the way we played. You know, and as you said, you know, one game that we thought might be a banker was Club Bruges, but they were a decent team as well. That Bruges were a decent team, and when you saw the score, they were 3-0 up at Atalanta, you know, the other night. And I said that to the guys watching it. There you are. Look at that. It just shows you that Bruges, you know, and fair enough, we drew with them at Celtic Park, but we could have won that game as well. You know, and there they were 3-0 up away to Atalanta. So, no, it's been a brilliant run. And, you know, as I say, it's just the team can be very, very proud. And what we did, one of the first pods, if anybody hasn't seen our earliest pods in August and September, you'll go back and you'll see that that's what we were asking for. We were just looking for signs of progress in Europe. Yes, we took a spanking in Dortmund, but that was just a one-off. We got caught that night with Dortmund. Every single shot that Dortmund took seemed to go into the net. And it was just one of those games where every mistake that we made got punished. But we've definitely learned from that. We have definitely taken it on board. And I've been very, very impressed with the way the players have responded to that setback. It would have been quite easy for them players to let their heads go down and just bow out of the tournament with it, you know, but they didn't. They came roaring back with some brilliant performances. The battle and performance away at Atalanta was fantastic. You know, the games against Leipzig at Celtic Park, you know, even the first game against Bayern Munich was a fantastic match. You know, and it was just great to see big nights at Celtic Park under the lights again. The European nights, there's no better. The atmosphere at Celtic Park is unbelievable. You know, every single player that has played there this season has said that. You know, that's just been an unbelievable atmosphere. So this is what the question for us now, guys. How do we take that on? Where do we go with this now? How do we take that now to the next level?
We've got, as I say, we've got to keep backing Brendan. We've got to bring in one or two quality players every Monday. Keep the thing going. Don't stop them. We've got to keep going. We've got to become regulars in the Champions League and cut out these players. That's going to be our target, to get away from the players and be in there every year, Paddy.
Yeah.
Straight in and doing what we done last night. That's the way the games have got to be. Tight games, winning games. We're not going to be laughing because we say we love the nights and the dark nights, the European nights. Maybe that's how we keep getting beat, Paddy. We don't want to go further on because the nights start getting lighter. So we don't want to go further on, no. But listen, we can't go back the way now. No. If you're going to go back the way now, Rodgers is not going to be. He's going to go and.
Yeah.
As we talked about Rodgers as well, get him signed up in a deal. But we need to sort media. I'd like to see sort media out as well, Paddy. Yeah. But him and Rodgers, but we've got to go a bit more ambitious now and keep going forward.
Yeah.
So we do, mate.
We talked about being brave during the summer, and they were, with a shelling out £11 million for Arnie Engels and the $9 million for Adam Ida. And as you say, Jerry, we need to look at taking that on now again into the summer window now. You know, like we've gone toe to toe with Bayern Munich, you know, over two legs, and there was nothing between the two teams. You know, I think when you're getting praise like we were getting last night from the likes of Alan Shearer and John Champion, English commentators, you know, traditionally Scottish teams don't get a lot of praise from English commentators, but they both knew themselves at how well Celtic had done last night. They were very, very generous in their praise of Celtic last night, particularly Shearer. So they knew that Celtic had played well over the two legs, and they just came up short. But as I say, against one of the best teams in the world. But Andy, yourself, how does Brendan go about lifting them now for Saturday against Hibs at Easter Road? What does he do with the team now, or is his job going to be made easier by the fact that the players will know that they played well against Bayern Munich?
They must know, because they've been getting plaudits for just about everywhere, and they can see it themselves. They just look back on the game. The fact that they're coming away for going to Munich against Bayern and disappointed with getting a draw. All right, they went out the competition, but getting a draw, and we're 30 seconds away from making history by being the first Scottish team to beat Munich in Germany. It'll be the first time that we have won it.
Yeah. He's out here again.
Sunday.
Three hamsters sharp.
They've done themselves proud. Aye, they've done themselves proud and the teammate, you know. So all you can do is just take the positives out of the game, and there's many positives to come out of the game. If you look, if you look at the last 30 seconds of the game, there's negatives because we've drew the game, we forced a goal in the last 30 seconds, and basically we're out of Europe. But there's many positives to take out of that. So I don't think Brendan is going to be worried. I don't think he's going to lift him at all. And I know sometimes we do get a lot of European hangovers and stuff, but I think this is different. This is almost like turning a corner. And it sounds stupid because we've been put out of Europe and we've not won the game. But I can take so much out of that as
See the thing is, Paddy. Again, see, he's still there. See the thing is, Paddy. See, maybe grant extra time. I know we deserve to go, but we started looking tired, didn't we?
Definitely.
For being honest with ourselves, grant extra time. It would have took a massive lot
effort
to get us there. And see the penalties, the two goalkeepers, God, that'd been interesting, wouldn't it, with they two? I think we could have fucking been run 3 times with the players, with they two goalies. It could be interesting watching them saving penalties, but I think the extra time would have been hard for the book for Celtic because the effort was fucking superhuman, man. It was phenomenal effort for them, every one of them. So it was.
Aye, for me, it's pride. You know, absolutely pride. You know, this morning when I started to think about it again, you know, just your heart's just bursting with pride. It was a fantastic effort from the guys. You know, right throughout the group stages. You know, when you think of we gave Aston Villa a 2-0 start and came back to 2 each. Fair enough, we ended up losing the game, but we battled back in that game. The defensive performance out in Atalanta against Atalanta, you know, those performances at home against Leipzig and Slovan Bratislava, you know, again, even the Club Brugge was a cracking game. The first leg against Bayern Munich at Celtic Park, again, you know, very little between the two teams. You know, we switch off as a corner kick and we get punished. You know, and then again last night to go there and, as I say, go toe to toe with one of Europe's giants, and to come up short, it just fills you with pride. But listen, it is what it is, and you know, we've had a good experience, and we need to just keep building on it. The one thing that we have shown this year is that we belong on that stage. That's the stage that we belong at. There's no question in my mind about it. We're a Champions League club. We should be a Champions League club every single year, and that's what it's about. It's about qualifying again next year. It's about being brave in the transfer market again with the board. Give Brendan another few million, bring in another 2 or 3 players. As you said, Andy and Jerry both said, if we had a player of comparable to Nicholas Kuhn to bring on instead of Kuhn, you know, when he got that wee knock last night, that would have made a difference. I'm not yet knocking Yang in any way, shape, or form, but he's just not Nicholas Kuhn. So if we had somebody of a comparable stature to Nicholas Kuhn, it might have made a difference. But listen, I for one have enjoyed the run. The other thing is it will give us a bit of a breather now in the run into the season. Now we won't have as many games to play now to going forward now, where we can look at consolidating our lead at the top of the Premier League and go for the Scottish Cup to hopefully add a treble to the haul. So listen, it's all positive for me, and I think those players heading to Easter Road on Saturday, they should be coming out there bursting with pride. And I think that should make up for any tired legs or tired minds that we have when they come out as Easter Road and get the reception from the Celtic fans. I think they'll soon forget about their tired limbs and their tired minds. That they'll know themselves that they're out to do a job for Celtic again. So listen, guys, that's everything. That's us all done. So thanks very much for everybody who maybe didn't get tuned in last night and maybe didn't get the chance to maybe have your view on the game last night. Andy and Jerry, thank you very much for joining us tonight. It's been a pleasure.
I'm not anywhere now. I'm not want to go anywhere now. I've nothing to do.
I know, but you know, sometimes Andy will tell you, you know, as you're looking at it maybe differently than you did immediately after the game. Andy, we were online. We were live within 5 minutes of the game being finished last night, and sometimes it is, you know, you need to just sort of let it settle for 24 hours to properly analyze it, you know. But it's just good for anybody who maybe didn't get a chance last night to listen to what we're saying and join in the conversation. It was brilliant to have everybody commenting there. There's been loads and loads of comments, so it's great to see everybody's views. But that'll be us now until our Friday night Focus podcast. We'll be back on Friday night, 7 p.m. as always. Anybody, if you're watching for the first time, If this has been your first time, please don't forget to like, share, subscribe, tell your pals, share the word. We're trying to build the podcast and build our own wee community here, and you can see the same people that are up here week in, week out. So it's just great for us to see. So anybody who's maybe tuning in for the first time, please come again, and don't forget to like and share, subscribe, and tell everybody about us. So Andy, thank you very much. Jerry, thank you very much. And we'll see you guys on Friday night at 7 o'clock. Hail,
Yep.
guys.
Cheers, lads.